Got more on that story for you now because James Creedon is having a little bit of microphone trouble over here, but he is here. Hello, James.
I am here. Hello.
You're going to tell us more about this Jeremy Clarkson gate because this does seem to be a bit of a British story, but actually he's quite well known outside the UK as well, hasn't he? Because he's incredibly boring Top Gear programme. Sorry, but it's about cars. Who cares?
I would agree with you, but a lot of people don't.
It's very popular, apparently. Sorry.
Let's take a look at some of the headlines. It's gone.
Yeah,
it started as a tabloid story in the UK. Strop gear, bop gear. This because he allegedly, bop would indicate that there was a headbutt involved. Others say that he slapped. The investigation hasn't been concluded. There's an internal BBC investigation. We don't actually know.
People are signing a petition. Sorry, but if you or I had a fight like that with our producer, we'd be out the door, out in our ear.
And
I don't think anyone would be signing a petition.
There'd be no internal investigation, and certainly not, 761,000 signatures in our favour. I like to think that we have some fans, but maybe not that many. In any case, he is really popular. Let's take a look at one article in the Washington Post. I think this says it all. The sun may have set on the British Empire, but Jeremy Clarkson's Top Gear is still a global superpower.
Look at it.
And it's true. He might have a very strong personality. He might have a lot of people who don't like him, but there are a lot of people who do like him. Look at the French media coverage of it. The man who likes to go too far, or who liked to go too far.
He's been in all sorts of trouble, hasn't he?
Well, he has. There have been all sorts of controversies going back over. There was the infamous N-word that he uttered in passing last year.
Shows, yeah, and then said he didn't, and then said
eeny, meeny, miny, mo, the kind of the old-fashioned nursery. There were lots. We won't do it. We won't have a repeat. English presenter hit his producer over a steak. It does make for good headlines.
Well, that's what I heard. That he came back to his hotel and there wasn't any food, and they offered him a cheese platter, but there wasn't, and he wasn't happy with that.
Well, I give you the Telegraph explanation of it, which is quite funny. Clarkson told producer Oisin Timon he fancied an 8-ounce sirloin steak with fondant potatoes, pan-fried wild mushrooms, grilled cherry tomatoes, and peppercorn sauce.
Maybe he should live in France.
Sounds like it. The chef had gone home.
We eat this every day.
Because he was 2 hours late because he'd been in the pub, apparently. And in any case, he didn't like the idea of cold meats and cheeses and decided to blame the producer. Quickly, a quick run through some of the other coverage, because it's got an awful lot of...
I know, this is ridiculous. The Prime Minister has stepped in.
Who is his buddy, and his children apparently liked the show, and he said it would be an awful shame, etc., etc. And
what message is that sending to the country?
Let's take a look at hashtag Cameron, right? If you just look at... all hashtag Cameron has today is references to this story, and most of those tweets are very critical of the Prime Minister. As Cameron comes out in support of Clarkson, he reminds us of his appalling personal judgment, bringing a criminal Clarkson to the heart of Number 10. So there you go, a lot of comment like that. What else? Suggestions, Laura, over who could replace him. None other than Piers Morgan has been mentioned.
Well, he punched Piers Morgan once. Did you know that?
I did know that. It's quite funny. And Piers Morgan has... this is, of course, former CNN anchor and...
Casey Hopkins.
And long-time rival of...
Oh, they're big Twitter enemies, aren't they?
Take a look at that. On Twitter, he said, I'm available for the Top Gear show.
Because he hasn't got a job.
I think that's putting... Yes, that's true.
There are serious issues going on in the UK as they head towards an election anyway. Very serious stuff dominating the headlines.
And some have even been saying on Twitter, isn't this a little bit silly that we're talking so much about it? So sorry for participating in that, but it is kind of funny when somebody gets that worked up about a steak.
Absolutely ridiculous. Let's move on to something else. Now, the Greek finance minister, he was told to pipe down, wasn't he, by his boss, the Prime Minister, but he's been giving an awful lot of interviews today, not least of all on this channel. He spoke to Marcus Carlson.
That's right.
He also spoke to Paris Match today.
That's right. Now, let me see if I can pull it up. Here it is. And now, Arrêt sur Image, the Arrêt sur Image website, found this one a little bit funny. The new star of Paris Match. Now, Paris Match, it's one of the glossy magazines. They love doing these colourful spreads.
At home with...
That's right. There he is.
Is that his house?
That's his house, apparently, and that's his wife. So you see him here preparing
Better not
food.
have a big, flashy house.
Well, the house does look quite nice, but I think kind of in a sort of bohemian way.
Yeah.
Now, what caught the eye of some at Paris Match was this particular comment. He said, I don't like the star system. I like to keep things very simple, etc., etc., etc. And a lot of people point out, well, hold on a minute, why are you posing for Paris Match if you don't like the star system?
Right. I was going to say.
But his style has been the source.
He's loving it, isn't he?
He is loving it, but it irks a lot of his Eurozone peers who are a little bit more...
You don't see Wolfgang Schäuble going around Europe with no tie on.
That's right. He's famously, doesn't wear a tie. He became a heartthrob as a result of that in Germany, the bad boy image. And there he is, rocking it up with with
Christine Lagarde.
Christine Lagarde, who
Head of the IMF.
sported the leather jacket
Who he doesn't
for the
like
occasion.
at all.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm
she looks great.
not surprised.
Valérie Trierweiler. Remember her?
Speaking of smacks in public places or hotels and cafes, she allegedly,
this is
slapped
the former girlfriend, of course, for
of
those who don't remember.
François Hollande.
François Hollande.
That's right.
No,
Now,
elbowed out of the Élysée Palace and now having fights in cafes.
well, that's right. A bestseller book, and apparently a man approached her in a cafe in the 15th arrondissement, which we know well, Laura.
Yes,
it's
we
south
do.
of Paris neighbourhood. And he said, well, how is François Hollande doing? She didn't take to that sort of tongue-in-cheek comment very well and slapped him on the face. The man has now...
that's a little bit much.
It was a little bit much, and the man has filed a complaint with the police. But what's maybe interesting here is this is not the first time this has happened. She's
got a temper.
A former minister's wife, Valérie de Senneville, at a birthday party, also got a slap in the face when she mentioned François Hollande. This is back in the end of 2014. So as
People behaving badly all over the place.
This is it. As Le Point pointed out, Valérie Trierweiler strikes again, I think is how they put it.
Keep your hands to yourself, Clarkson and Trierweiler.
Clarkson and Trierweiler. Can you imagine the two of them in a room together? That would be very...
Goodness me, wow.
Tense.
James, thank you very much indeed. James Gordon there with Mediawatch. All right, well, it's time now for our Focus Report. We're asking, is China's